Yeah. Yeah, I
Okay,
can.
so yeah, we were talking about the Tea Party and how
Yeah, I think part of that is I think the Tea Party and that whole kind of back or I don't know, movement and populist revolt, I guess, against conservative elite kind of helped lay the groundwork, laid the train tracks for Trump to win eventually.
yeah, I
I think
agree with
Trump kind
that.
of fed off of that a lot. And I also conversely with Bernie and what was it? Occupy Wall Street.
Yeah,
I think
I
that's
think so
kind of
too.
like that kind of built a larger platform to I mean, obviously Bernie wasn't the candidate, but to even make as big of a run as he did. Because I mean, remember, like at one point, Bernie really was giving Hillary a good run for her money. It was close. I mean,
Yeah, no, it was. But the problem though is that Bernie kind of did this entire thing late, and so he didn't have the same type of structure that Hillary had, like the same type of like
yeah,
foot soldiers.
uh-huh.
So there was a lot of other things that were a problem, and then there was also obviously the backlash against Hillary Clinton from other people, other
Hmm.
Democrats who were actually Democrats that were Democrats and not people that decided to join in because of Bernie Sanders.
Hmm. And of course the DNC completely biased against Bernie and owned by
Yes.
Hillary. Um, but
That reminds me,
I did.
I'm going to make sure I write her name in because like I said, I am with her, and I'm going to turn in my ballot today because I have realized the error of my ways. I have realized that I have been a misogynist, racist pig, mostly racist though, mostly racist towards white people. And in order to make amends for the horrible crimes I committed against white people, me and my ancestors, we solemnly swear to give allegiance to our new queen.
But Chris, how are you going to make sure that your ballot's counted when
Oh,
USPS is being underfunded by Trump attacks?
and also Brett Kavanaugh has already said that states can decide when they want to cut off, mail-in ballots or absentee ballots. By the way, welcome to episode 2. But we're well underway to the election season, and well, not election season, the election, and yeah, the election is probably might be stolen. Tune in, folks. So yeah, we can talk
No,
about
I'd love to
Brett
see.
Kavanaugh. You
I
guys what's
mean,
up?
well, with the Kavanaugh thing, I'm wondering, are there any constitutional kind of guidelines for how elections are supposed to be conducted? Because at what point do you
There
say the
are, there are.
election's
So he can't
over
do that. He
and no more
can't.
ballots are being
You
counted?
can still do
Okay.
it up to 2 weeks. So he's basically just bullshitting. There's basically he's like, I love him because he's basically said, "Fuck the Constitution. I'm gonna grab it and wipe it with my ass." Because that's exactly what you should do to a fucking document made by a bunch of slaveholders. You should treat it like the crap it is. Other
But Chris, he's a
countries,
constitutionalist.
yes,
He's a
he is, and I'm glad. I'm
constitutionalist.
glad he is. I'm glad he is. I'm glad he is because he's showing everyone how demonstrably evil this Constitution of ours is. Thank fucking God he exists. May God bless Kavanaugh and all his descendants, and he may get all the virgins he wants in heaven and ignores his current wife.
I mean, I love and I do think there is like a real constitutionalist ideology. I think there is a good segment of people who genuinely want to follow the Constitution as it was written. But I also
Yes,
think
which is
most
psychotic. It's psychotic. But continue.
but I think I mean a huge portion, if not a majority of so-called constitutionalists kind of change the rules when it's convenient to them
Yes, for
and
sure.
vice versa. Um,
But
so
isn't that everybody who does that?
I'd love
Everybody
to make
really
fun of
does
that.
that. Everybody does that though.
Oh yeah. No, I ideology. I mean, you can't really narrowly follow to the T pretty much any ideology, or else you're probably gonna go extinct, you and your movement. And
Or you're gonna be a
um,
fanatic and start doing weird shit.
no, yeah, exactly. Like I think, I mean, the most successful or I don't know influential political leaders of all time, they generally have like an ideology, but they make exceptions when necessary and vice
Yeah,
versa.
yeah. You need to have
Um,
flexibility.
that's how statesmanship goes, right? Um, but no, I wonder. So Kavanaugh obviously he's supposed to be conservative, right?
Right.
Isn't Trump on the side that the election needs to be decided the day of November 3rd?
Yes, exactly. So that's what Kavanaugh is kind of doing. So I'm like, I mean, the problem with the Supreme Court is, so we're now going to drill onto the Supreme Court because we now have our new girl boss, Amy Coney Barrett, or whatever her name is, our new girl boss, the reincarnation of RBG, but this time as a conservative, insane trad cat. So what Trump has done is basically will hopefully have done to most people is to show them that the Supreme Court is political, which liberals for the longest time have tried to deny that basic reality.
No, I think also I don't know if we'll call it a movement at this point, but at least the growing interest in Democrats expanding the Supreme Court, I think is a nice confirmation on both sides that the Supreme Court is just a power grab by whichever party's in power.
Or they should, well, excuse my French, and it's probably bad, as someone from Native heritage to say this. We should do what Andrew Jackson did and basically said, we have the army on our side. Now you have your little bitchy laws. Let's see you try to enforce them. No, we really should be doing that to the Supreme Court. Tell them to go fuck off.
No, I think that's bound to happen at some point. I think, I mean, as the U.S. is kind of on that downward trajectory, I think that's an inevitable position that will take place. I mean, at some point, the Supreme Court and the army or the military more broadly are going to have to be at some kind of odds over something, and there's probably going to be some rank and file elite of the military that might be siding with the Supreme Court about something or other. Who knows?
But the thing is that as we give more power to the executive branch, eventually the Supreme Court will have to either do something about it, but they don't actually have the power. They don't have, the only power really that they have is the one that the liberals have given them. Conservatives want the same type of power that the liberals have given the Supreme Court, but it doesn't really exist though for them.
Well, expand on that. What do you mean? Go on.
What I'm trying to say is that as both, so let's be honest, the legislative branch has basically been swept under the side. So now basically it's now a fight between who can grab the more power, the Supreme Court, the judicial branch, or the executive branch, the presidency. So far, for the longest time, the presidency has been doing that since Teddy Roosevelt. But the Supreme Court, ever since, I'm not that much of a historian of the Supreme Court, but possibly under Roe versus Wade, that's when they started making their grab to try to expand their power. I mean, it's always been there.
Oh, I see.
But it's only been slow that they've been starting to expand on it further.
And like not expand on their power in the sense that they're actively trying to decide, I don't know, the economy of a state. It's more like the rulings that they're deciding on are more and more consequential for daily life for Americans, right?
Yeah, and eventually people
like Roe versus Wade.
Yeah, eventually people are going to be upset with that. Like you're infringing on our rights. I mean, like right now, obviously it's liberals that are upset, but if Democrats are either going to have to contend with two things. Either they're going to have to accept the fact that everything that they pass can basically be like null and void, because unlike Roberts, who was the little problem solver, the one that always tried to make sure that that there was peace, his power no longer matters anymore, because now it's a 5, because if he says no to whatever the conservatives want, it's still 5-3. So
and this,
yeah, go for it.
No, go on. No,
so
go ahead.
What I'm trying to say with the Democrats is that they're either going to have to accept the fact that basically all their laws at any moment can basically be ruled null and void in the courts, or they're going to have to do something about the Supreme Court, either make it no longer have the same type of power it has, or they're going to have to basically say, fuck it, we're going to pack the courts, YOLO.
I mean, I love it that the Supreme Court is increasingly politicized, and now that there's an even stronger majority, because I mean, I think this is going to be a boon to just polarization more broadly.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because imagine if, let's say, the Supreme Court, I mean, I think it's overhyped, but let's say the Roe versus Wade thing. Let's say the Supreme Court rules against Roe versus Wade, overturns it.
Right.
How is California and New York going to respond to that?
That's true. But here's the thing. I don't think they're going to overturn Roe versus Wade. They're just going to keep allowing states to slowly overturn it themselves. So they're going to allow some states to do it. But who the hell knows? Maybe these psychotic tradcasts that are starting to infect the court are gonna be like, no, the entire, like, we're gonna like completely get rid of it. Then if that happens, I honestly don't know. I mean, I honestly
I
want to
mean,
be cynical. Yeah, go for it.
that's grounds for secession. I really think that at that point, California, New York, and whatever blue state buddies, I really think that's kind of a final straw kind of thing. I think it's going to be huge if like let's say Roe versus Wade or any other Supreme Court case of that magnitude. I imagine some kind of DACA ruling will be huge
Right,
as well. Regardless of the outcome, I just think that it's the country's already so polarized at this point that I think a ruling of that magnitude a is a lightning rod, like for
right.
some kind of major conflict, not just like protests in the street, but even to
Right.
the point where elected leaders are actively resisting federal law.
But the thing before then is like these people have to squeeze the last juices of American capital before it's like, okay, yeah, let this whole project fall apart. So what I'm wondering is where's going to be that tipping point where they basically have like chewed more that they've eaten. Well, they've. What I'm trying to say is how long is it going to get to the point where they've overplayed their hand and then things fall apart because they didn't realize like all the actions that they were doing were just further, leading people to the breaking point.
I think, I mean, if the goal by the Republican and Democrat elite is just to keep this country together in some kind of Frankenstein sort of mishmash, but
Yeah, because they
keep it
want to squeeze
together.
it for the last bits of capital they can get. They
Mhm.
want to make sure that they can get enough so they can, escape this unharmed and then let everybody else, deal with the consequences. But if they keep doing it to the point where they screw up and then they play, like I said, they overplay their hand,
Mhm.
uh, who knows what the fucking happened to them?
I think for for them to follow that strategy, the best option would be kind of charting a centrist sort of path where there's no huge Supreme Court cases even being decided on, um, with Biden being president but being a Republican and Democrat um, skin.
Oh yeah.
I think that's kind of their best path, sort of hanging on the middle. But I think that it's just too little, too late for that because I think there's a huge contingent on both sides, Republican and Democrat, who are way past the point of compromise and even pretending to be okay with centrism anymore. So let's say like inevitably some kind of huge Supreme Court uh, ruling will be up for decision, right? Let's say DACA, for example. Um, how could the elite of the Democrat and Republican parties on both sides, who are both committed to maintaining neoliberalism, how can they both come up with a verdict to, let's say, DACA, for example, that would satisfy both parties enough to the point where there isn't any kind of massive insurrection?
There isn't. I honestly don't think that there is. But the thing
Yeah.
is the thing with that though is, as I said before, the ball court is in the right to do something because there's still the possibility that Trump could steal this shit, and obviously the Supreme Court will
Hmm.
side with him on this. If that's the case, if Trump is such a demonstrably evil, orange man that's a threat to the republic, and that can bring us to Nazi Germany or whatever fucking fairy tales liberals tell us these days, other than Russiagate. If that's the case, then are liberals going to rise up and join Antifa, the Black Liberation Movement, and all these other fronts that are obviously against the possible fascist takeover of the United States, or are they just going to be like, let's go cheer, let's go do a protest of the Pussy Hat riots variety, and if nothing happens, let's just go to brunch and hopefully forget about the Batman for a couple days. Because I mean, if you can't do that, then what the hell's that? Like, then that's fine, and that means you'll probably be okay with Roe versus Wade, gay marriage, or any of these other social issues being overturned.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I don't. I think the path of centrism is just increasingly narrow
Yeah.
and increasingly unsustainable. Um, because I think in the past there would be enough of a um, contingent on the right and the left that would be willing to compromise. But it's like at this point that that kind of middle wing, I guess you would call them, is less and less vocal, less and less powerful, less and less committed to compromise. So for the centrist ruler, life is getting hard.
Fuck them. They deserve it. No fence sitters here. I do not condone any fence sitters. If you come to my house and you're a fence sitter, you get the fuck out. But that being said, I want to talk about a special girl boss. You know, since we're here, we're about girl bosses. Our RBG, because we're I personally I'm not a big fan of abortion, but I will defend a woman's right to reproduction. So if you're gonna have an abortion, I'll support you through that. But I'm not exactly gonna be like, hey, let's do more or whatever. I'm just gonna be like, yeah, it's your right, you get to choose and stuff like that. But I was still kind of raised Catholic, so that shit's still ingrained in me, whatever. But I'm not a trad cat because I only believe the only real Catholics are the ones born into the faith. I'm sorry, once after 17th century, if you become a Catholic, you're not a real Catholic, or at least probably Vatican II. But fuck that, ignore that field, whatever. So what I'm trying to get to is that I understand people being afraid that Roe versus Wade might be overturned, but you kind of have to blame one person for this shit happening, and that's gotta be Ruth Bader Ginsburg, because folks, I mean, you might not have known this, but she had a chance to fucking quit and make sure Obama could have put someone on the court to make sure that her position could have been filled for 30 years with somebody who'd been decently liberal, but she decided to be a selfish cunt and stay on there for another God until God finally takes her, or she rested on her laurels and thought that she could probably live long enough to see Hillary as president. I mean, granted, that's my fault for being racist. But yeah, so we're in this mess because Ruth Bader Ginsburg, decided that she wanted to be a legend and see how long she could, see how long she could continue living despite the fact she's had previous, cancer scares. So if you have anybody to blame her. Okay.
So how stupid do the Democrats look now for not pushing to confirm? Oh, who was that Obama appointee? Damn, on the last hour, right?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
What's his name? Oh my god,
I forgot his name too.
Whatever his name is. I mean, why
Mark Garland. Mark Garland. There we go. That's
Garland.
Yeah, Garland.
Yeah, Garland. Why didn't they pursue it more aggressively? What was the motive behind that? Letting it go?
I mean, they were just about the norm. I mean, they really did believe the dumb thing about the fact like what Trump was able to laugh at them about. I mean, they were told by the Republicans who control the Senate that they're not going to allow it. So the Democrats really had nothing else they could do. I mean, they could have done other things such as basically use Garland as a lightning rod for Hillary Clinton's campaign, but they never did. So you kind of have to think, like, are they just really using, like, is this all political capital? Like they keep pushing everything more right, so they can really do nothing in the end, and people keep having to defend on them because they're the lesser of two evils. And this push to the right continues further and further until eventually we reach the cliff. So I'm thinking that might have been the case. I mean, because they should have used Garland for freaking Hillary Clinton, but they didn't. They didn't use him once. They didn't use Roe versus Wade is on the ballot. They didn't even fucking do that. I'm like, are you kidding me? Now we're hearing about the fact that if you want to name your rape baby, name it Jill Stein, like from fucking Bill Maher. I'm like, where the fuck was this 4 years ago?
Yeah, where was the urgency? I think Democrats assumed that the future was just blue, mostly because changing demographics, right? They just assumed...
that's fun now because the red pill minorities that believe in QAnon are now going to Trump. I mean, but this is mostly males. I mean, females are still stuck with this demonic party. I mean, not saying that Republicans are not demonic. I mean, they still sacrifice to Moloch, but that's a different story.
No, I mean, I'm really surprised by the extent of male Latino support for Trump.
Oh, and
It's a huge.
some black males are also starting to go there too. I
And
mean,
black
not to
males,
the
yeah, I mean Lil Wayne. Lil
yeah
Wayne, Lil Wayne yesterday, right?
yeah, but yeah, it's because he. I mean, if you're not gonna get any incentives, then the only thing you really can do is cultural shit and or social issues. And a lot of Latinos, like if you're not gonna give them anything, like you're not gonna give them like, you know, like incentives or benefits, they're just gonna go to the party that sometimes has their social issues that they're interested in. And unfortunately, that's the reality of it. A lot of people of color are socially conservative, and they want to see they're not cool with abortion or gay people sometimes.
hmm
That's
How
just true.
how big do you think the business component is? Do you think that like a huge portion of
I
male
think
Latino Trump
that's
supporters?
also there as well, because I've seen like Trump supporters that are people of color business owners. I've seen a couple of
hmm
those, so
hmm
there's that.
Yeah, I mean, I've just heard passingly about Trump supporters in the Filipino community, and I guess usually it's tied with business and tax cuts, basically.
And also
Um,
probably because he's Duarte loves him.
and oh, and Duterte, yeah, that's that too. Um, let's see, what are we thinking about Hunter Biden?
Oh yes, back to the censorship stuff. So we're back to the censorship, boys, because okay, let's be honest. Hunter Biden, Joe Biden's a loser of a son, but all these people have loser children. I mean, Trump's all of his children are loser. Hillary Clinton, her daughter's a loser. They're all losers. The only reason why they get by is because of their parents' name. Let's be brutally honest. These people in a real meritocracy society would have would be working as a janitor. Not that there's anything wrong with it being a janitor. I'm just saying that they don't have any real qualified skills to do anything.
hmm
But Hunter Biden was caught with all those pictures, his computer supposedly hacked somewhere, or I don't know. But now the media is basically trying to cover up the story and make this part of the Russiagate extended universe.
Is are there any similarities with the media's coverage of Russiagate versus Hunter Biden?
I mean, I think with Russiagate, they obviously pursued that really like fully, and then obviously with Hunter Biden, what they're trying to do is hide the story under the rug and essentially censor everybody who's trying to cover it, including even left leaning liberals like Glenn Greenwald. He actually left the Intercept, the place that he started.
hmm
The man who helped Edward Snowden come out and reveal about the NSA leaks. Yeah, the guy had to quit his own organization because they were censoring his fucking stories.
What okay, does censoring Hunter Biden stories first of all even help prevent the whole Hunter Biden story?
I mean, the
Because I'm
thing is,
starting to think
yeah, go for it.
the fact that they're so concerned about coverage of it just honestly makes me more interested in it. Um,
But it's a nothing story though.
and
There's nothing interesting about it. I mean, it's not like he was, letting the strippers that he was taking to his house to like, shove dildos up his ass. There's nothing interesting.
yeah, no, it does look like it's really just some kind of run of the mill, I don't know, stripper action, right?
Like Jerry Falwell's loser son type of crap. That's actually was more interesting. The whole cuckolding thing, that was more interesting.
Oh yeah,
Seriously.
it was for sure.
Oh my
And I
god.
remember ABC made like major news outlets covering it pretty generously. Although I guess they kind of forgot about it pretty fast.
Yeah, they did. It was like a 3-day thing. I was like, what the hell? This
Uh-huh.
is this is cool though.
Yeah, no, I thought it was super entertaining. I was like, I want more of this.
I want to hear more about the secret lives of these Christian fascist overlords and their children. This is some cool
But
shit.
I guess like in their defense, I will say I think that they did kind of finish the story. I guess like it was just right. So Jerry was sitting in the corner watching the pool boy and his wife do their thing. but but I guess that was kind of it, right? Or I guess I mean was there much else to it?
No, there wasn't really that much to it. So I mean, I understand that to let it go,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and
But in
he's okay right now at this moment.
uh-huh. Yeah, he's gonna be fine, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
he's gonna be
the
fine.
kind
He's
of
gonna be fine.
the news wind will blow over, and then you'll see him appear at the next Trump rally in 2024,
Yeah, the
and
next
Trump's going
RNC
for his.
convention or conservative Comic Con or whatever. I don't know what they call
So yeah,
it.
I'm sure his career isn't over yet, right?
No.
I think in the case of Hunter Biden, I think one part that's more interesting to me, is just the fact that Hunter was on the board of how do you say
Barista, yeah,
Burisma?
Barisma, yeah.
Um, I mean, I'm not a big. I guess I'm just kind of neutral. I'm kind of on the fence. I don't really know whether he was actually corrupt or not, but just the optics of it
But
doesn't look
they're
great.
all corrupt, so no one cares anymore. It's like you have your own team. Like it's like the like a sex scandal, like that like celebrities do. You stand by your fucking celebrity. It doesn't matter what they do. It's like literally like these politicians now are like celebrities and also your dad, and your dad can do no wrong. So neither could your political brother, which is for liberals, it's Hunter Biden, and for conservatives, it's the Trumps, the Trump brood.
That's true. That's true. I guess the reason that it's relatively interesting to me is just the fact that the media, or for the most part, at least kind of centrist or more left-leaning media, is so unwilling to cover it versus let's
Because they're
say
afraid. They're afraid that that this will actually help Trump. That this is another Comey letter. I'm like, but it's not. It's nothing of that sort. Because unlike Hillary Clinton, Biden people actually like him, despite the fact he's a dying mummy.
hmm no, that's true. That's true. I guess it just makes it more of a more of a story. The fact that they won't talk about the story just adds to the story.
That's actually kind of cool. Like they're that paranoid.
hmm hmm Yeah, I think well, I can't tell to what extent um the average American who's not tuned into politics on a close basis
God
even
bless them.
God bless them, even knows or cares about the story in the first place. Like I feel like the news is kind of exaggerating the power that this story even has. Let's say if every single person
Mhm.
knew about it, would it even amount to any difference in,
I
I don't
want my
know.
fucking stimulus check. That's their fucking answer. I don't care how many strippers Joe Biden was impregnating. Give me my fucking stimulus check, you fucking crooks.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, is this even that big of a deal? I mean, because it's already common knowledge that that Hunter was kicked out of the military, right, for the
Yeah,
cocaine.
we know that his son is, the child that if he could go back in time and God gave him the decision, he would choose to get rid of Hunter over Bo. No, let's be honest, he would do that. Like it's the same with
Hunter.
Trump. Like if he could choose between Tiffany or Ivanka, he'll choose Ivanka like a million times over.
Uh-huh. The hot piece of ass.
Well, and also the one let's move on. But yeah, but it's just I don't know. It's just a nothing story to me. It's just, but it is like how you said. It's more interesting that the media is going so into hyper overdrive to censor anyone who's trying to cover it, even though it's a nothing story.
Mm-hmm.
But it just
Mm-hmm.
shows how much Trump derangement syndrome even exists among the supposedly unbiased liberal media elite class.
And that's where also I think COVID comes into play. I think COVID coverage is full of TES. Um,
Oh yes, we've
I
now
think
made Fauci into a demigod. He must be the son of Apollo or some stupid crap like that.
yeah. Okay, so number one, the lionization of Fauci is fascinating to me by the media. Like Fauci is now
This fucking asshole lied to us saying that the masks were unimportant, and then he turns around and tells us masks are important. And so now you're wondering why people don't fucking listen to authority. He freaking lied because we didn't have enough supplies.
hmm And even assuming, let's say he had fully good intentions the whole time. Let's say he was just reporting right the best information available to him.
Lies. But
Um,
continue.
no, no, I agree. But I'm just let's assume the absolute best here. What is so great about this guy in the first place? I don't. To me, he's just kind of a run of the mill white coat who
He's not Trump.
I
That's
don't
why.
know, and he's not Trump, so we love him now. Like I really don't understand what Fauci did to deserve this level of adulation from um establishment.
Because
Well,
he
I
doesn't
would say
talk
most
like me.
Democrats.
He doesn't talk like me. He talks like when I'm actually giving a presentation at at UCLA or some shit like that. When I'm actually calm
So
and poised.
so he's politically correct and he's not Trump's pawn, so therefore we love him. Like um what would it take for Fauci to be kind of disowned by Democrats?
It's never gonna happen. Never gonna happen. I don't know why you even bother asking that question, but this is why you're here, Austin.
If Fauci were to say, I think Trump has done a satisfactory job responding to the COVID pandemic, would Democrats just lose their mind?
I
Fauci
think
is now
I think what they might do is like I think that they would try to rationalize it. I mean, if he keeps doing it, then that's a different story. But I don't think he's ever going to do it. I think he's starting to love the attention. I mean, that's honestly
Mhm.
my thinking.
Yeah, no, I really do think he's kind of enjoying
The limelight.
the celebrity status,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, because that's all these people are. I mean, let's just be honest. I'm like, he has like every like under this neoliberal hellhole that we're living, everybody is trying to get clout. Everybody's, trying to, beef up their resume. And then,
Mhm.
it's everybody. I mean, it's not just Trump. Everybody's doing it now.
I'm here to make a buck off you. Vote for me. Whereas, I mean, I think Hillary tries to couch it in more utilitarian terms, like she's just this hero that's going to save everyone, versus and not benefit from it. On the other hand, Trump is just kind of a little bit more selfish and unashamed.
Yeah.
Do you think um, Fauci? Well, first of all, do you think Fauci's going to stay in the picture long term? Let's say after the COVID vaccine, for example, is he still going to be like a household name?
I mean, God knows how long this vaccine thing is going to take, and how long we're going to have to live under this lockdown. Remember, I told you about the 22 thing. I'm like, so he could stay on for a while now. So he might just be, yeah, he might just be a household name like until maybe this virus runs its course. But I don't know. I'm not. I can't sire. So I can't see into a crystal ball and predict the future. So who knows?
Hmm. How are you feeling about the vaccine? Do you think it's going to be a successful, B popularly accepted, and C done in a soon um in a quick time frame? Let's say by spring.
I doubt it. I doubt we're gonna have the capacity to mass produce this on the scale that's necessary. So we're probably gonna see the vaccine like slowly be implemented, like through incrementally, because as we've demonstrated to the entire world, we can't even freaking produce masks. That's the reason why Fauci had to fucking lie.
Hmm. No, that's right. I'm with you on that.
Unless we depend on China.
I will say I think the um opposition, or at least skepticism toward the vaccine, is mostly a meme. I think that's gonna kind of evaporate over time as
I mean, look at these
vaccines
people. They
are.
they listen to this freaking to the freaking lockdowns. Most people. I mean, granted,
Yeah,
they still go
exactly.
out. Yeah, but go for it.
No, exactly. I think the fact that so many people are, I mean, I think the lockdown has been, I'm pretty surprised um, how successful and I would say just popularly accepted lockdown and mask wearing is in the US. I mean, if you had told me before this had happened that the US, I don't know, that things would have shut down to this degree and that mask wearing would be as nearly universal as it is, I wouldn't have believed it. I would have thought there would have been kind of a wider backlash to it. I mean, obviously there is in mostly like in southern states and red states, etc. Um, but I think I'm surprised at how kind of complacent and, or maybe not complacent, but
No, complacency is a good word. Use it.
what's the word? How how compliant I should say. Um, the vast majority of Americans are with COVID. I don't know, precautions. I really thought there would have been kind of a wider backlash and my body, my choice kind of thing, which I'm all for.
Yeah, but at the same time, like my thing is like it's just no. I knew Americans are this complacent and like because I mean their freedoms have been gradually fuck. I don't even want. I don't can't even think. But maybe starting with Bush with the Patriot Act, they've slowly been allowing their freedoms to be eroded. I mean, they probably started way
That's right.
before Bush, but it really hyper accelerates with Bush and then with Obama and now with Trump. So I'm not surprised. I'm not shocked one bit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Kind
granted,
of
yeah, go for it.
the meme of the cowboy or the maverick in American history is really just a meme.
I mean, it was because most cowboys were either black natives or Latinos. So I'm like, the John Wayne type of cowboys kind of didn't exist.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I
And
mean, they were
I
probably
mean
doing more Brokeback shit.
well, when there's no young damsels in distress in town, Chris, what are you supposed to do?
Exactly. You find the weakest, flower boy, and go to town on him.
No, but really, I am I'm surprised at how popularly accepted um mask wearing and just lockdown measures were. I really would have expected much more skepticism and just rebellion to it. Um,
Yeah,
but I
I hear you
also,
though.
I mean, I'm pretty I'm pretty optimistic or bullish on the vaccine. I think that it's going to be here in relatively soon.
I
I
mean, I
mean, I'm
hope so,
guessing
but
for
I'm gonna
spring.
be a cynical asshole and say no.
Oh, well, I'm looking at it even from a cynical perspective. I just think that the vaccine really isn't that far away from completion. Um, and I also do think that, I mean, it's going to be a private company making it. There's going to be tons of money to be made,
Oh
and
God.
obviously, making money in this country is our country's religion. So, I mean, I think that the mass production thing. I think it'll be worked out. Because I think there's just too much money on the line.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, but who
So
knows?
I'm not looking at it from like a utilitarian perspective, like, oh, this vaccine will be made just to save everyone
Oh
just
no,
because we love
definitely no,
everyone.
because everything under neoliberalism has to have a monetary transaction.
Exactly. Yeah. I think there's just too much. I mean, let's say you can sell the vaccine, or I mean, maybe if states offer it for free, but either way, the state has to pay for it, right?
Yeah.
There's so much money on the line. I think someone's bound to do it, and I guess that's the strength of neoliberalism. When there's the monetary incentive to accomplish something, you know that it will get done.
Or they can just take the money and they play the dice and hopefully they don't get sued. And even if they get
Yeah,
sued, they might not lose all the money.
produce a bum vaccine. It gives your kids autism.
No, don't joke about that because god damn it, too many anti-vaxxers. We don't need more of that shit. I don't know.
um, let's talk about the election. Do you
Yeah,
think I'm looking at swing states and Pennsylvania? I mean, Pennsylvania is getting a lot of hype as kind of the state to win, right? The
but the
prize.
but the
Is that
problem though
justified?
is yeah, but the problem though is like in Pennsylvania in the end might not matter. Biden might win like a bunch of fucking states. He might win, Arizona. He might win even like the both Carolinas, Georgia, and Florida. So he's probably gonna lose Ohio though. So that's that. That's that. Um, he's he might lose Iowa as well, but he's gonna be picking up a bunch of other places like where you would think Trump would do well, but unfortunately he's not doing there because the suburbs in the 2018 have started showing that they're starting to go blue.
What state would you be most surprised by? Or like, let's say, like, how
Oh,
about this?
Texas.
What's
Texas is the state
Texas?
that I think will still go for Trump, but if it goes for Biden, it's over.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, if Biden wins Texas,
It's over.
that's it's over.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. I mean, I'm just looking at the 2016 results right now. What are you feeling about? Let's see, like the Midwest. Do you see any of these Midwestern states flipping? I've heard Nebraska's getting a little bit more competitive.
Yeah, I've heard some of these are. I've heard maybe even Kansas because I think one of their politicians is really despised.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. Do you think
yeah, go for it.
is that just kind of hot air? Do you think there's any real chance that any of these states really that voted one way or the other last time is going to flip
I mean, they
Midwestern
could.
states?
I mean, because I I mean the problem with last time though is like because people were kind of unsure of Trump. He wasn't the incumbent. Like he wasn't Obama. He didn't have that stuff attached to him. He was kind of
Yeah.
offering an alternative. But we have Trump right now, and like the only thing he's saying that he might return us back to the what he was doing previously. But I no one a lot of people don't believe that.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
he's and all the smears he's tried to do to Biden, they don't freaking work because There were smears that he would use on Hillary Clinton, but the problem though is that people like Biden. I mean, they like his dying grandpa act.
Yeah, no, actually, I've been pretty impressed with Biden's ability to just kind of shake off most of Trump's name calling. I thought that there would be kind of a more successful smear campaign against Biden, but I think for the most part, he's done pretty good job
I
of
I think
just sort of shaking it off.
I think the reason why Trump can't do that is because, like I told you, Biden is liked like by a lot of people. I mean, not by obviously Trump supporters, but a lot of like even the independents, they like him, even though they might not vote for him. And I don't know. I think they just like his the lie, the false persona that he portrays to people.
Yeah, the calm, easygoing, friendly, nice guy thing. Um, yeah, I guess it is pretty. I mean, to me, Biden is a personification of centrism.
Yes, I
Um,
think he's basically everything Trump is not, but not in the
yeah,
policies, not in policies, by the way, just in
yeah,
personality and
yeah,
personification, like you said.
yeah. Um, and I'm actually one thing I'm kind of interested in to see is even if Biden wins, will he be the last candidate of that kind of nature where middle of the road, just kind of friendly, easygoing guy? Because I mean, again, with the polarization thing, I don't think it's going to end anytime soon. And assuming liberal states get more liberal, conservative states get more conservative, how can you run that middle of the road campaign
But the
in the next
thing,
election?
I understand what you're trying to say, but the problem though is who's going to control the party? Is it going to be Kamala Harris or is it going to be AOC?
Hmm.
So
I'm guessing Kamala.
yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
guessing Kamala as well. So then the Democratic Party, what their job will be is to continue to squash and stifle the left. That's going to
mhm.
be their prerogative. So then they're going to keep doing the centrist bit until until I don't know, the Republicans eventually outlaw elections, and hopefully that happens.
Well, okay, so I mean I agree that Kamala in reality is like policy wise is has tons of centrist stuff. But I mean if you ask the right about Kamala, they consider her like far left.
Yeah, they consider her a
Um
radical leftist, like a Marxist, just like her dad. Even though her dad would probably do something, you know, if you're a Marxist and you have a child and they don't become a Marxist, I'm not saying late term abortion, but I am saying late term abortion.
I mean like if you ask the right, Kamala's right, a San Francisco liberal. Like I think Kamala would be contributing to polarization. I think she would be an example of farther and farther left thing. Even though I'm not saying she's actually a leftist, I just think in American politics, she might as well be on the left wing of the
Yeah,
Democrat
she
Party.
might as
And
well
then same
be
thing on
Lenin's bride.
and same thing on the right. I'm sure the next candidate will be. I mean, I really doubt it would be like a Marco Rubio, a John Kasich, a Jeb Bush. I'm guessing it'll be um, a
Oh,
more
Charlie, or yeah, someone.
firebrand kind of right wing kind of guy. I don't know, Ted Cruz or who's up next in the right.
Who knows? Maybe Joe Rogan runs for the Republican Party. Honestly, that might keep this country intact for another 4 or 8 years.
No, that would be fascinating.
Actually,
Joe
I
Rogan,
would like to see Joe Rogan as president. I mean, I think he could probably keep this country alive for another 8 years.
at least as moderator of the next debate. I would love to see Joe Rogan
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, either
as the
way.
moderator.
Yeah, it's either way. That'd be cool. But like I said,
How about?
yeah, go
Oh
for it.
no, go ahead.
No, go for it.
I was about to say, how about what would you call this? I guess the I guess the North, Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania,
The Rust
even
Belt
Iowa,
state, the great
Rust Belt.
firewall. Yeah,
Yeah, I think.
they're
I
all
mean,
going for
so like,
Biden except for Pennsylvania. We don't know, but that one's up for grabs.
okay, all right. So
I yeah.
you're expecting Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio, Biden,
Oh no, not Ohio, not Ohio. My bad. Just Michigan and Wisconsin. They're going back to
Michigan, and
Biden,
Wisconsin.
but Ohio's not. Ohio has fully drank the Kool-Aid.
So who did Trump lose between the last election and now to end up losing Wisconsin and Michigan?
Wait, what are you saying? I don't understand you.
Like, or what voters did he lose?
I mean, in this case, it's just more people are interested in voting for Biden over Trump. It's just the last problem was that a lot of people sat out because it was Hillary Clinton. They haven't
Hmm.
um Joe Biden is lucky that he's able to say that NAFTA hasn't really been pushed onto Biden as it was to Hillary Clinton.
True. Yeah.
So he gets lucky when it comes to trade deals. I mean, Trump has tried, but it doesn't work because you can just be like, but he was on the Senate. He wasn't actually the president or married to the president or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people, a lot of Wisconsin and Michigans have also been hurt because of Trump's dealing with China.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they have.
Trade war?
Yeah, trade war.
Okay. How about any blue states going red? Do you see anything that?
Only
Because I'm looking
Nevada.
at New Mexico. Yeah, I'm looking
Yeah,
at New Mexico and
New
Nevada.
Mexico's not going to go. New Mexico's not going to go, but Nevada is.
Oh yeah?
Yeah,
And what do you think? What do you think spurred that? What changed there?
because a lot of Latinos are going for Trump now.
Oh, okay. Actually, yeah, that's a good point. I think Latinos are realizing
It's
that
because
also
Latinos
Trump's
are
kind
becoming
of
Americans.
yeah, that and also I think Trump's immigration policies have mostly been talk. Like I mean, Obama deported right more undocumented people than Trump did.
Yeah,
Right?
and that's the thing that I'm worried about Biden. I'm going to say this right now, because the reason why Trump has deported less people than Obama is because law enforcement is not willing. The liberal, governors and mayors are not allowing the police to cooperate with ICE, which God bless them.
Sanctuary states.
Yeah, sanctuary
Right.
states, sanctuary cities. However, if we get Biden, that might fucking change. And I'm going to give it a 95% chance that it will change.
Oh shit. Okay. So
No,
you're telling me
I don't trust the Democratic Party. I don't trust them to defend DACA. They're probably just going to be like kick it down the road and give it like some kind of weak, protections, and then the next Republican might further unravel it. So I don't trust these people. They're not doing anything that calms my nerves. I don't, and that's kind of the reason why Latinos are also might sit out, because they don't trust these people. I mean, if you ask like the older Latino folks who might be democratically inclined, a lot of them are not going to vote for the Democrats because they're not going to get anything. They don't see another fucking stimulus check. They're seeing like all these people closing up shop, people losing their homes, people losing their businesses, because the Democrats are not going to offer people anything. They've already said beat it, and we're just going to keep doing the same shit Trump is doing. So why do I give a shit?
How about COVID? I mean, I've heard incessantly on the news that COVID disproportionately hurts Latinos, right? Is that going to be a factor in voting?
No,
Do
because there's this one lady who's at a Trump rally who her son died to fucking COVID, and she's like, "Yes, I'm going to keep voting for Trump." It does not, like, people like have they've lost their minds, or also they've just become like so hardened, and they just have just like lost any hope, I guess, or something of that line. I'm not entirely sure how to say it, but it's just nothing is pushing people to one candidate or the other, unless they have like this derangement syndrome and they think Trump is the next step to fascism, even though if we keep doing these neoliberal austerities, that's the actual road to fascism. But no one ever wants to talk about that crap.
How about Florida? Who's going to win Florida?
Biden might win that. We'll know by at least like by the time polls close in Florida, because Florida actually does their mail-in ballots on the day of the election. So they'll count them, and by the time the polls close, they'll reveal the numbers.
God bless Florida.
Yeah, but it's Florida, so who the fuck knows? Florida could do a bunch of janky shit. I mean, remember,
I personally.
Yeah, go for it.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, Florida did the whole shit with in 2000 with Bush and the Supreme Court. Like I said, liberals, the Supreme Court can do whatever the fuck they want, and you won't do anything about it. So throw your bitch tears now, because you won't be able to do it later.
I personally have Florida going red. I'm guessing they're going red.
I don't think so. I think Biden is going to be able to win it, because I don't think they can. I think they're trying really hard to paint him as being the next Castro, but I mean, as much as I want to shit on conservative Cubans or centrist Cubans, I think they kind of do know Joe Biden is not really a friend to Cuba.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that any actual refugee or just, I don't know, former Cuban has to know there's Democrats and actual communists are obviously very different. So it's like a mockery of the term communist to even call Democrats that. I just think that Florida, I think DeSantis. How do you say that governor's name?
Oh yeah, DeSantis, the governor there. Yeah.
I think he's pretty popular, and he seems to be pretty close with Trump.
I don't think he's that popular because he
I know.
barely eked out the win against that other guy.
Oh, the dude who
Lost to him,
was
yeah.
having
Oh
the
yeah, it
dude who
was
had his little bender with gay prostitutes or what
yeah,
was
like Marco Rubio.
like, oh wait, Marco Rubio did that too?
Do you remember the phone party crap?
Oh no.
I'm 100% that him and Lindsey Graham, go my way.
Oh my God. Well, I can't wait for the next laptop to be left at a hardware store or whatever it is.
Who is our version of Rudy Giuliani? James Carville.
Yeah.
James Carville will find James Carville. In his infinite wisdom, will find the laptop when Marco Rubio tries to run for I don't know this next
And that's,
presidential.
I guess that's also a problem with Democrats and conspiracies, right? They're too politically correct and, I don't know, respectable to make up insane allegations
But
and
the age of
just push.
respectability is gone because we're living
Exactly.
currently in the decline of the United States. I,
Exactly.
pe-
And Russiagate was just like a respectable, I don't know, what would you call that? Kind of a white collar conspiracy theory.
yeah, no, it's one that seems like there's some credibility to it, that there's some legitimacy to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah, no,
cause you,
I think
yeah, go for it.
Russiagate was a conspiracy theory for college graduates.
Yes.
I don't think that Americans, like blue collar Americans, really gave a shit. I think that was more kind
No.
of a white collar America sort of debate in the first place. And second of all, obviously Democrats were the ones who were kind of leading the charge, and then Republicans obviously
Yeah,
calling it
QAnon is
BS.
more
But
of a type of thing that it's more democratized. More people can believe in it, and more people can see it and understand it because it's very simple.
and contribute to it, right?
Yeah, you can contribute to it.
Add memes to it. That's kind of the beautiful thing about QAnon, and also I guess this goes for Antifa too. Kind of the leaderless aspect to it, where anyone can sort of make a meme or, I don't know, start a local chapter of Antifa, and yeah,
Yeah,
go from there.
that's the problem with freaking Russiagate. There's no memes. Nothing of it is funny. It's just dry and like witless. And no, nobody wants that. Especially now, like we're all locked in our homes and there's nothing to fucking do.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah, come on, make some shit up.
Yeah, make some shit up.
Come
Like
on, Democrats.
they're not gonna do it. And like the left is also way too, like, no, we can't play their game or whatever. I'm like, no, you should play their game. I mean, it's talking about Karl Marx, the Communist Manifesto, and all that stuff. Like, let's be honest, most blue collar people are to be like, they're just like, huh, what? Shut up. So just make something like that's interesting and fascinating, and make them like the protagonist of the story. Say the same thing about QAnon, and then say something about the fact that all these people, like the more money you have, the more you have some kind of pedophilic urge to do horrible things to people because money demonstrably corrupts you. I don't know. Make up something. I don't know.
Well, the problem with that is, what about the rich Democrats then? How are they gonna
They're enemies
appeal
too.
to rich Democrats?
Make everyone into the enemy. I mean, I guess you can't do it because you think Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer have your best interest, but they don't. They don't give a crap about you. They're just they're either in it for the game or they're trying to squeeze out as much as they can for their descendants.
Mm-hmm. They'll make some national holiday of Black Lives Matter Day and then cut taxes on a corporation that calls the police when, I don't
Or
know,
is it
a black
funding
person
funding the police unions?
All right, so just so I have it straight, because this is going to be, we got election day coming up, right?
Yeah.
So you're calling. Let's point out. Let's keep record of the states that we're disagreeing on for who the winner is. Let's
Gotcha.
see who gets the most right.
Gotcha.
So I got Florida going red. You got Florida going blue, right?
I got Florida going blue.
Okay. Wisconsin?
It's going blue.
I'm gonna go red.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna go red for Wisconsin.
No, I'm going blue. I'm okay. Let's do this. I'm not fully invested in Florida going red. I mean going blue. Let's do that.
Oh yeah. No, yeah. I'm kind of. Actually, I'm pretty strong on Florida red, but Wisconsin going red. That to me, that's like barely, like I got it like 55-45 chance kind of thing.
Gotcha. No, with Florida, I'm like a 30-70. So I'm wishy-washy on Florida, but I think it's gonna go blue.
Okay. So we got Florida, Wisconsin, Michigan is going.
I'm thinking blue. 100%
Yeah,
certain that one.
I'm leaning toward red. All right, so we have three so far.
Gotcha.
Um, Ohio.
It's red.
Yeah, I got red too. Pennsylvania.
I'm uncertain about that one. That could be a toss up.
Pennsylvania. I'm leaning red. I'm leaning red. I mean, I'm not. I have no idea, but I don't know. I
I
think
hope I get
I have
more
a.
right. Let's see what happens if I do. Do I get a prize?
You get an I'm with her mug, autographed by Chelsea Clinton.
Oh my God! Yes, yes. Um, also, I wanted to have the I don't know a handprint of both Chelsea and her husband. All right, let's go to the next state.
Um, well, what do you think? Iowa? Do you think Iowa might change?
No, I was going red.
Yeah, that's what I think. Illinois, I have it going blue.
What? Illinois? Oh, what the?
Oh,
Why
you
is that
got
one?
Illinois going red?
No, I have Illinois going blue. Like, why would you even think that one would go red?
Oh, okay. I'm just looking at that region, right? Because it was Iowa, Wisconsin, Michigan.
Illinois always goes blue. Chicago will make
Yeah,
sure that thing never goes.
yeah, no, for sure. Nevada?
It's going red.
Yeah, yeah, I'm expecting red. Let's see. How about New Mexico? Blue?
It's going blue. It's staying blue.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm guessing too. Um, well, any other state? Because to me, those are
Arizona.
the main
Arizona's the
states.
other one. Arizona's the other one.
I have Arizona going red. I think that's mostly
It's going
hype. I think
blue.
it's competitive. Oh yeah?
I think it's going blue.
Okay.
I'm going with blue.
Just because to honor John McCain.
I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, may he rest in hell.
Yeah, no, I have Arizona going red. So there's another state. So I guess those are probably the main ones. I mean, do you have any other ones? Because I think I'm
Texas.
pretty much.
Texas. I'm gonna go. It's gonna stay red, but it's gonna be close.
Yeah, no, I think Texas will be like historically close, but I mean, I would bet right now that it's going red.
Yeah, if it goes blue, then I'll
Um,
be immediately shocked and be like, "Fuck, Trump is doomed."
yeah, no, if Texas goes blue, that would be stunning. That would be insane. I would
I
be
want
blown
something
away.
stupid to happen during election night. Let's just get that clear.
Oh hell yeah!
And that would be great. That would be the moment that would just be like, yes, this is the peak age of stupidity right here.
Like maybe I don't know, a ballot counting office gets bombed or something.
No, don't laugh at violence. Don't laugh at that. No, whatever.
Occupy a ballot, I don't know, counting center or something. That'd be fun. Some kind of militia or something.
Oh God, I mean,
Tennessee.
something's probably going to happen. I mean,
Yeah, no, there's definitely going to be some kind of action. I know in Philadelphia, I guess police are kind of closely monitoring and bringing like extra units around
right.
voting centers.
Wait,
And
wasn't it in Wisconsin that they said they can open and carry? What state was
oh,
that?
I think that was Michigan.
Oh, that was Michigan. Oh, that's great.
Yeah. And I love it too.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, I'm like, just what type of, I don't know. It's just these, but why? Why are you willing to die for Joe Biden or Donald Trump? I'm like, I want to get, I should have stayed as a therapist, okay? And should have just done like psychology for people that have, liberal or conservative brain. And if they want to get, fixed or help. I think that would probably be better than being a historian, because as much as I love Mexican history, I just want to get into the psychology of these people, because there's just no, rationale to any of their logic.
It's TDS. It's TDS.
Yeah.
TDS is a verifiable mental health syndrome.
What's the other one? Is it constant? Like, what's the other one for conservatives? Because I know they love owning the libs to the point that they're willing to die. I mean, look what happened in Nebraska. The rally that Trump had.
Oh,
yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They were willing to die to own the libs.
Yeah, it's like someone or in Portland, that Trump supporter that got killed.
Yeah, or what happened in Oklahoma where Herman Cain died because he's attended that rally. I mean, these people are willing to die to own the libs. I mean, that's impressive. I love it.
All right, so just so I have it straight, we got Arizona, Michigan,
yeah,
Wisconsin,
yeah,
Ohio.
Yeah. No, we agreed on Ohio though. We agreed on Ohio though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, Ohio we agreed on.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah. No, actually,
Florida.
well, on Ohio, we kind of just said like I was undecided on that one. You said red, so I'm
Okay.
yeah. So we can kind of drop that one.
Okay.
So it should be
Pennsylvania.
yeah, but yeah.
Was Pennsylvania you're kind of you're neutral on?
I'm neutral on that one. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So our wait. So Arizona, Michigan,
Wisconsin
Wisconsin.
and Florida.
Yeah, I got was and Florida. Damn. If Biden wins Florida, wow, that'd be impressive.
Like I said, who knows? I mean, the Puerto Rican community doesn't even like Trump.
Yeah. No, I believe it. he's pretty rude to those Puerto Ricans, huh?
I mean, I think it's probably has to do with him being in New York, and he probably hated the New Yorkers. I think that's kind of it.
How about Virginia?
It's gonna
Maryland?
go blue. It's going blue, dude.
Yeah.
That thing
Yeah.
has been just the age of it being, you know, Bush's state is gone.
But Chris, what about crosses in black people's lawns and tiki torches?
Oh, you mean Charlottesville? That was just a bunch of outside agitators, you know, like everywhere else. Everybody's, you know, going everywhere and, you know, just fucking other people's lawns up. I mean, I like it, but I mean, don't come to my lawn.
All right, so I guess those are our big four right there: Arizona, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida. Blue or red, we shall see.
We shall see. So
But
yeah,
Texas would be the big prize.
Yeah, Texas would be fun as fuck if that happened. But we'll see. So I think Austin, I think we did, you know, pretty well. So I mean, there's not really that much.
Covered all our bases.
Yeah, cover all our bases. You know, we should probably report on election night. So you know, election night might turn into election week.
Mm-hmm. No, but even the first day, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. It'll be fun to see who gets a lead.
Yeah.
Or even like a tie. That'd be, I don't know, would a tie be even more entertaining?
I mean, yeah, 269. So it'd be, because it is hilarious if that happens, because then the president will be decided by the House, which obviously is going to be freaking. Wait, no, I think if it's a tie, I think Trump might still win it. It's because there's some weird bullshit rules that makes it like you vote by states, and Trump has the most states out of Congress. Like, so out of how many Congress people there are, Trump has. So if you counted all the states and how many Congress people are from them, and the majority of them, the states are based on how many Congress people are on there. So basically, Trump would have like probably like 27 to like 23 to the Democrats. So Trump would still win in the House of Representatives, even though obviously there's more Democratic members of the House of Representatives. Yeah, it makes no fucking sense, but this is how stupid this country is.
That's a beautiful place to end it.
Yeah, that's a beautiful way to end it. That Trump might still win even if there is a tie, because that's how fucking stupid this country is. God bless the founding fathers, these slave-holding assholes who made this stupid-ass system that's falling apart.
Thank you, James Madison.
Yes, thank you, James Madison.
All right, Chris.
Signing off.
Well, that sounds good. I think we covered our bases. And I'm excited to see, especially for those 4 states.
Yeah, let's see what happens. You know, but you know, I hope Kavanaugh just, you know, does his little thing and says, "Fuck it, I'm gonna be a legend," and be like, cancel the election.
We're postponing it.
Yeah, we're postponing it, just like Bolivia did. Maybe for a year.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to see it. All right, so signing off.